Okay, now we're going to heat up the beef stew. This calls for 250 ml of water. Same thing with our soup. So I'm going to get those going along with our tea. Okay, with the mashed potatoes, I'm going to do something different. I know they don't do this out in the field, so please don't say, that's not the way they do it out in the field. I understand that. But I'm going to do what my buddy Raab always recommends, to make sure that you get these things totally saturated with water. What I'm going to do with these potato flakes is I am going to pour them. I know it sounds unorthodox, but I'm going to pour them all into that cup. All right, we can see it's completely empty. Now I'm going to take the 250 ml of water that it calls for and place it into the bag. And then I'm slowly going to add the flakes back into, see how it all is incorporating really quick back into the bag. I'll give it a nice little mix. Now I know for a fact that I'm not going to have any clumps, lumps whatsoever with my potato flakes. Courtesy of the ever-present, immortal Raab from MREinfo.com. You might hear a little bubbling and rolling. I've got a heat source heating up that main right off camera. Now with that little potato flake we've got in here, it might be a thickener for our soup. And from talking with an ADF soldier, he said only put about 200 ml in here. That way you can use this as a gravy for your potatoes. And I'm going to take that advice and I'm just going to add a little of this at a time until it gets to the thickness or consistency that I want it. And that'll probably do it. That was probably only 100 ml, and that will thicken up nicely. But if you don't want a gravy and you want a soup, just add all the 250 ml of water to it. Now another tip I got as far as the bread, while you're cooking your main, set your bread right on top, kind of like a lid for it, and it'll soften and warm this bread right through. And let's attempt to open up our cheese with our thread. Voila. Okay, over here we've got our black pepper and our salt in case we need it. The cheese that we opened up. Right here is our soup, which we have turned into a gravy. And then again, our mashed potatoes. So I'm going to put a little bit over here and a little bit in this other side of the tray. And you can see they all look perfect. They are all nice and reconstituted. No little dry spots like I usually do as far as mashed potatoes. And you can tell that that is a large, large portion. It looks like we have some chive in this mashed potato as well. And there's our hearty beef stew, nice and cooked. This has carrot, pepper, onion, and a little potato in there. And for spices, it has some garlic, salt, of course, some vitamins. And you can see that carrot, those chunks of meat, the red pepper. Again, we'll have that mix over there. It's still a little in there. Mix over with our mashed potato. This would also be a perfect time for those canned peaches or pears or mixed fruit that these rations used to come with. But it also might be a good time for this all-fruit bar, just so we can get some other type of food into our system besides all of these carbohydrates. And it looks like it is simply just a compressed bar. Well, I'm not going to screw around. I'm going to try this beef stew right now on its own. Nice and steamy. It's real beef. It's not processed. It's stringy. and a little overdone, definitely chewy. The vegetables, they taste nice and fresh. Overall, it is a little salty. Now I'm going to try some with the mash. And of course, it is nice and hot, seeing how it just got off that boiling water, or out of that boiling water. Wow, that's absolutely scrumptious good. And I know you're saying, where's your bread? I still have it over here sitting right over that nice warm water. Get a little bit of this soup that we've turned into gravy. I just want to try it on its own first. Now it is a chicken soup, so it's chicken based or bouillon, but it's good and creamy. It's got some crunchy croutons in there. So I'm going to take a little bit and place it on top of that. And just a smidge. And put it on top of, looks like there's some pea, some carrot. Now we'll just try it with a little bit of this. You imagine put a little cheese on there too, if you were inclined to do so. Oh, that just takes that to a whole nother level of happiness. Gonna take just a little sliver of this cheese and try it with this too. Sometimes this all works. And I know people will drench their mashed potatoes in like melted cheese or melted butter. Wow. That really works too. This is very impressive. Let's try this tea. I haven't done anything with it. I didn't add any creamer to it or sugar. It's just standard Bell black tea. And it's actually quite pleasant just on its own. So far, this ration or lunch is batting 1,000. Let's take a look at our nice warmed through bread. And this is something that I've been so eagerly looking forward to trying, because trying to make this bread or perfect a shelf-stable bread is so hard. And you can see that this is nice and soft. It has a lot of give to it. Let's just try it on its own right now. It almost looks like a, well, it's kind of weird, a thick flatbread. This is the best ration bread ever that I've ever had. Wow. It's nice and airy. It's doughy. Very impressed. This is probably one of the best actual meals that I've had in a ration since that last Indonesian the freeze-dried Indonesian ration I had. Wow. All that seafood, and that was perfect, but this is right up there or right next to that. Yep, and dunking the bread in here, it's just really good. We'll try a little more of our cheese, if I can get that nice sliver out of here. And this was the whole reason I wanted to try it. I wanted to see how it tasted with this bread. Yeah, that works good. Wow. And just so I said that I did it or I tried it, I'm going to add all of the water to this creamy chicken soup so we can see what it looks like if I would have added all of the water to it. And you can definitely tell it is significantly looser than the type of gravy. You can see all the little bits of veg floating in there. Let's give that a try. Okay, adding all that water seriously dilutes the flavor. The less water that you add, the more flavor punch that you're going to get if you want to make a gravy. It's just really light now, but those croutons in there are still nice and crunchy. Good soup, good stuff. And the last thing that we have is this fruit bar. And this is sweet. It's acidic, but it has a nice blend. It's got that nice chewiness, which that would make a good ending dessert to this meal. Spot on. This was good. Let's start working on dinner. Now, I've already got the main in some nice hot water. The first time that I did mee goreng was a total fail, and you guys really let me know about it. So what I did in the meantime was I went out and I purchased a bunch of it, and now I know how to cook it properly, and it is absolutely delicious. So we're going to get 400 ml of water, get that boiling, add this in for 2 to 3 minutes, depending on what it specifically calls for, drain it, and then we're going to add in all of our seasoning packets. And just in case if you're wondering what is in the seasoning packets, if you like to, go ahead and hit pause, and you can see exactly what's in there. And I just said go ahead for the first time in like ever, so if you're still out there playing the game, drink. Man, I got all kinds of stuff cooking off everywhere. Okay, then we'll add the seasoning packet. That's the fried onion. And then, of course, all of the liquid ingredients. And then we give it all a good mix. Let it all incorporate. And then you got some nice, spicy mee goreng. Okay, got the tray down. I have another cup of coffee. That's probably what I'd have for dinner. My spoon. If I wanted to, I could have my sports drink. I could have had it anytime between lunch or now. Set my Tabasco sauce. And in case if I want a little more acidity in my main, I'll put some tomato ketchup in there. And let me stick my little piece of gum that I would have left. Then I guess for dessert we have some jam sandwich or jammy Dodgers. The first time I got these they had a nice little heart in them. Now I have a circle and a star. Let me pour down my Moroccan Lamb. It is nice and toasty. Oh, look at that. Oh, the smell's coming up. This would be the perfect time like to have some rice as well. That would be good to go. And then let's get our mee goreng on here too. Yeah, you don't want this mee goreng cooling down. This is way better when it's nice and steaming hot. There we go. Well, seeing how it's right here, I'm going to give this mee goreng a try first. I guess I need to chop it up. I don't have chopsticks to do this justice, or even a fork. I think that's the only shortcoming of the ADF feeding shovel. Yep, it just has that nice flavor. It's not overly spicy. Man, this stuff is good. It's even better if you actually have the civilian packet and you throw an egg in there too. Man, absolutely delish. Let's take a look at our Moroccan lamb. Definitely see chickpeas in there. You see the big old chunks of meat. It has a very nice hearty sauce. It's got, like I said, it's got chickpeas, but it also has cumin, ginger, salt, pepper, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of coriander, of course, vitamins, and that nice little tomatoey paste to set that all together. And again, if you wanted a different kind of tang, even though it's got tomato paste in there, this usually has a little more vinegar in it than your average stuff, so it could definitely change the taste dynamic of your Moroccan lamb. And it also has some sweetener in here as well. You can tell right off the bat we have an instant color change, and like I'm not going to mix this up like I usually do, so we'll see how that affects it. Now you get a little sweetness to it, almost a little smokiness too. I'll put that right there, and we'll use a little Kiwi Dude magic to get this all cleaned up. Take a pull of my coffee. Nice and warm. And let's try a little Tabasco sauce in there as well, just so we said that we used it. And I'll just plop some right down on this other side. You can see a little bit in there, starting to gel with all the other yummy goodness. Get a little bit of everything in there. So a little chickpea, a little piece of meat. That actually blends really well. It just gives you that heat without that Tabasco-y taste that you're all familiar with when you have it. It just says, bam, hello, I am here. Mixed with all of this, let's try a little bit of this ketchup in here too. This just works. I suppose if your palate called for it, you could add some salt or some pepper, but just to me, it's well seasoned on its own. I don't require it. And we'll try one of our jam sandwiches, or jammy Dodgers. And these are just essentially like a shortbread cookie with like a raspberry or strawberry filling that is nice and chewy, very sweet, very good. And then lastly, after we got done consuming and drinking everything, we would have a piece of our dental gum. And this being a 24-hour ration, we still have a bunch of stuff that's used for snacks. And I would have snacked on this throughout the day or eaten this whenever I wanted to. Same thing with the chocolate. I might save this if I was marching throughout the day so I have nice energy content. And I might have saved this if I had overnight watch, radio watch. So let's open this stuff up and take a look at it really quick before we close this vid out. First thing we'll start off is this sports drink, seeing how we didn't make it earlier, and it is lemon lime. It calls for 500 to 1,000 milliliters of water. So if you want it stronger, less water. If you want it more watery, more fluid, add the whole liter. And looking inside, you can see it's more granules than a powder. And this being a sports drink, you would assume it's going to have a sodium level or a saltiness along with it to help keep you hydrated and to rehydrate you. Take a look at these Peppermint Lifesavers. And they're just your standard run-of-the-mill branded Lifesaver. The Jack Link's beef stick, and this is a peppered type. And it says this is 25 grams. It is just a little over 8 grams of protein. And then the whole grain cereal bar. And this has pumpkin, flaxseed, chia seeds, and sunflower seeds in it. Then, of course, the ADF chocolate ration, which we've all seen. Same with M&Ms. So let's sample this stuff right here. Let's start off with the lemon lime sports drink. The cooler the water, the better this is going to taste. But you have to drink what you got. It's more lemony than lime, at least to me. But it's showing its lime colors. It's definitely green. And it does have that slight salty taste to it. And then the peppered beef jerky. Those are always good. It's got that nice substantial chewiness. I mean, you have to really chew a hunk off of that. It just makes it so good. And then the cereal bar. It says it's got like a binding agent is brown rice syrup. I don't know what that is, but it is slightly sweet and you can get that nuttiness, woodiness of the actual seeds that are inside of here. Not too bad. Definitely they contrast each other. And then lastly, these are just peppermint flavored Lifesavers. And these would be great for keeping your mouth moistened throughout the day while you're doing your activities. Well, everybody, this was an Australian CR1M from 2017 review sent to me from my buddy old mate Drop Air. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. I just want to give a shout out and a thank you to you all. This has been a banner year for the ration community. Things are going on that I never thought would have happened when I first started this. We've got Steve, 1989. He is right on the cusp of like 500,000 subs. 500,000 of you are watching this stuff. That is amazing. Flat out amazing. We have 3 people that have their own MRE stores that are bringing all of these foreign rations to you. That is incredible too. You got MRE Zone, MRE Mountain, and Foreign MRE. Guys, thank you for stepping up to helping out the community. Perfect. It's awesome. And then also you have Custom MRE, which is a new kid on the block. They are on the warpath of designing your own custom rations the way how you want to have them. Stuff is really happening. It is amazing. I hope 2018 is as good for you as 2017 has been for me. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching my humble reviews. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all on my next review. Bye. Well, I'm going to give this alligator.